Capricorn. December is all about you. After all, it is your solar return and the beginning of your season. And in being all about you, it's going to be time to start to think about things differently. You're going to experience a shift in your relationship, your love life, and your career. Change is a good thing because it gets you to go in a different direction. And that's exactly what December is going to ask of you. If you want to know more, keep watching and I'll explain all about it. What's up, everybody? It's your girl Mel of Divine Feminine Works, and I am here to help you uncover your divinity and discover your magic. If you're new here, welcome. If you're returning, welcome back. This channel is everything tarot, astrology, spirituality, and manifestation. So if those are the things you like, if those are the things you love, if those are the things you want to learn more about, don't forget to hit that subscribe button, as well as that notification bell, so you'll always be notified when I come out with new content. And speaking of content, head over to Instagram and follow me over there at Divine Feminine Works. Every day I've got a ton of tarot, manifestation, astrology content that will really help you out. So follow me over there so you don't miss out on any of that good stuff. All right, so this is going to be the Astro Forecast and Tarot Scope for the month of December 2021. I don't know about you, but I'm still kind of blown that it is December of 2021. I felt like 2021 sounded so futuristic, it sounds so far away, and now we are at the tail end of it, and can't say I'm mad about that. I mean, I'm ready to move on, hopefully to bigger and better things, and I believe that 2022 is going to give us just that. But before I get ahead of myself, it's time to talk about the here and now, and as always, you know the deal, we start with the astrology. So the theme of this month, if we had to sum up December in one sort of short, concise sentence, it would be when one door closes, another opens. That's sort of how this month is playing out, because we begin the month right in the thick of eclipse season. So 2 weeks ago, we had a full moon lunar eclipse in the sign of Taurus. And then right at the beginning of December, we have a new moon solar eclipse in the sign of Sagittarius. So eclipses are the universe's way of sort of cleaning things up in our lives and in society in general. So eclipses either take things out of our lives or put things in. It's the universe's way of setting order. And so when we have this kind of energy, it's sort of like you not only have to roll with the punches, but you have to be open to receiving and letting go of what you want on the one hand and what no longer serves you on the other. And that's pretty much how this month is going to go. Again, the highlight of this month is the new moon solar eclipse. But another way to think about this month, or another way to look at this month, is that there's a lot of movement this month, a lot of energy shifts. So we have 4 planets that are actually changing signs. We've got 2 planets that are changing directions, and we have an eclipse. So if you find that at the end of the month, if you're sort of assessing how December was for you, and you feel like December sort of had you feeling unsettled, a little bit unstable, that's because things are shifting and moving around. And that energy actually started last month in November with the eclipse, okay? So it's, like I said before, it's really about rolling with the punches and sort of letting things, let the chips fly, let things sort of move as they need to, and then sort of assess and get a lay of the land, all right? So let's go through the month chronologically and see what we've got. So we open up the month with the planet Neptune going direct in its home sign of Pisces. So Neptune was retrograde from June 25th of this year, and now it is turning direct. And we all know that when a planet goes retrograde, it's like you sort of take the energy and the characteristics of that planet and you direct it inward. So instead of things being directed outward in your life, you're taking a hard look at yourself, you're reflecting, you're remembering, you're doing all of that with respect to that particular planet's energy. So Neptune is all about fantasy. It's all about illusion. It's about love. It's about dreams, those kind of things. And so when Neptune went retrograde back in June, all of that stuff kind of went out the window. Neptune retrograde allows you to see the realness, the harshness, and the ugliness of life. And trust and believe, I think we can all agree that we've really been seeing that. Definitely over the last couple of years, but specifically as Neptune has been retrograde, we've been seeing things for what they really are. The rose-colored glasses come off and we see life as it is. But now that Neptune is going direct, now we're going to be able to take what we've learned while Neptune was retrograde and apply that to life and be optimistic. Regardless of what we've seen, the harshness and ugliness of life, I feel like now we're able to move forward and we can dream again. We can have high hopes. We can be optimistic despite the reality of, life. But you sort of take that, it's like you take the things that you've learned while Neptune was retrograde and you apply it to, your life going forward, but you're more optimistic, you're more hopeful. All right. So that's really how Neptune direct is going to affect us. And it all depends on where that falls in your chart. Neptune is in its home sign of Pisces. So its energy is extra potent. It's great for creative endeavors. It's great for us to recognize and appreciate humanity on a collective level. It's about being selfless, compassionate, empathic. So all of these things are going to we're going to be able to feel those things again. Okay. So that's how we start out the month. And then the star of the month is, like I said, the new moon solar eclipse happening in the sign of Sagittarius, and that's going down on Saturday, December 4th. So new moons are all about new beginnings, and a new moon solar eclipse is a new beginning in a very big way. It's like a new moon on steroids. This particular solar eclipse, I should say, really is about like an ending and a beginning wrapped up in one. That's kind of why I said the theme for this month is when one door closes, another opens. On the one hand, not only is this the final eclipse in the Gemini Sagittarius cycle that we've kind of been going through for the last 18 months or so, it's also happening at the 12th degree. And the 12th degree is the Pisces degree. And as we know, Pisces is the final sign in the zodiac. So there is a certain element of finality with this particular eclipse. So like I said, something is going to end and something is going to begin sort of simultaneously. Although you're not going to feel it right in the moment. It's not like Saturday is going to get here and you're going to be like, okay, something ends, something begins, I'm done. This energy is fluid and it's definitely playing out over the next couple of months. So be prepared for things to sort of shift within that time frame. This new moon solar eclipse allows us to have a clean slate and a fresh start, and it eclipses things into our lives. So I don't know about you, but at the time of the full moon lunar eclipse last month, I experienced a lot of endings. People that I was close to, someone that I was very close to passed away. Things were very jarring, things were sort of being eclipsed out. Now at this new moon solar eclipse, you may notice that things are being eclipsed in, things are being added to your life. People may be coming in, you may be going to a new place, experiencing new things, especially being in the sign of Sagittarius. Sagittarius likes to live large and in charge. It's all about adventure, broadening your horizons. So it's going to be this very expansive new beginning. There's also going to be an element of limitation and unexpected happenings with this new moon solar eclipse because we've got Uranus and Saturn in the mix. And I'm going to do a separate video on these eclipses generally and go more into the astrology of each particular eclipse. But just know that things may be a little difficult. Things, Saturn is an energy of limitation, of obstacles. It's also of endings also, and karma. So you may find that things are finally wrapping up in a particular area of your life, only for a new door to open and a new adventure, to embark upon. So that's sort of how this eclipse is playing out. All right. So moving right along, we have Mercury entering into Capricorn on December 13th. And Mercury in Capricorn is very serious. Our thoughts, our communications become serious, practical, down to earth. We become more focused and think more about work, being disciplined, perhaps overcoming obstacles. A lot of what we talk to people about and a lot of what we think about centers around work. It centers around serious matters. So that's how Mercury in Capricorn is going to play out. And again, that's going down on December 13th. That same day, December 13th, Mars is going to be moving into the sign of Sagittarius. Mars being a fire sign and moving into a fire sign makes Mars sort of extra happy. And this is really about, we become motivated by our desire to act according to our ideals and beliefs. Sagittarius, apart from just, ruling long distance travel, higher education, Sagittarius is all about expanding our minds, and it's also about faith, belief, and spirituality. And so now Mars being a very action-oriented planet, a planet that is concerned with initiation, we're going to want to move according to what we believe in and what we have faith in, and being very strong and convicted in those beliefs. Additionally, we'll want to start new adventures, blaze new trails, start new projects, initiate a whole bunch of things on a very grand scale, right? The only thing you'll have to keep in mind is that Mars in Sagittarius is like great for starting things, but not necessarily finishing. So you may have all of these projects that you start, you may have multiple projects, or you may have one big project. It's going to be very important for you to keep your level of motivation high, because in the beginning, you're going to be really fired up. You're going to be like, yes, I want to do this. Let's do it. Let's go for it. And then shortly thereafter, you're going to be like, whatever, or it goes by the wayside or anything like that. So that's definitely going to be something that you're going to be mindful of when Mars enters Sagittarius. All right, so moving right along, we have the full moon in Gemini going down on December 18th. And obviously, if you've watched any of my videos before, you already know that full moons illuminate. Full moons are either the culmination of a manifestation or they illuminate something that's been hidden. Gemini rules communication, it rules siblings, it rules extended family members, short distance travel, business, sort of your everyday busy body kind of energy is what Gemini is. And so with this, you're going to find that you'll probably either be really busy around this full moon, your communication with people is going to ramp up, you may be taking short distance trips, maybe you planned a short distance trip sometime prior and now you're finally going on it. You may find that something that you thought about back at the new moon in Gemini back in June now is coming to fruition. You may find that just your general environment is just busy. That's sort of how this full moon is going to play out. And again, that is on December 18th. Moving right along, the next day on December 19th, we have Venus going retrograde in the sign of Capricorn. So Venus in Capricorn is very serious as well. Just like I spoke about Mercury in Capricorn being serious, Venus is the same thing, but its energy is more focused on relationships, money, things that we value, aesthetics, beauty, comfort, luxury. All of those things become very serious, very tangible, and very down to earth. Venus in Capricorn is the energy that's going to get you to save money to buy a big ticket item. It's going to have you make a plan of action to redo your house, have a relationship. It's very practical, diligent, and down to earth. That's when Venus is direct in Capricorn. So now when Venus is retrograde in Capricorn, we take that energy and we direct it inward. So this really becomes what are the things that I value in my life? What is important to me? What are the criteria that I need to be in a relationship? Everything that Venus is about, we direct that inward. And being in Capricorn, we take a very practical, down-to-earth focus to it. Even creativity becomes very much more practical. How do I do things? How do I make money from what I create? What values are important to me in relationships with respect to assets? What's fair in my life? Am I being fair to myself? So that Venusian energy, everything Venus is going to be directed inward when Venus goes retrograde. And again, that's on December 19th. Moving right along, on December 21st, Capricorn season officially begins when the sun moves into Capricorn. So there's a lot of Capricorn energy this month. So if you feel like December is really sort of heavy, it's sort of not very exciting. I mean, the holidays are around, so there's that certain element to that. But maybe you think about the holidays in terms of how much money am I spending? How much overtime do I have to work in order to buy people presents? Those are the sort of Capricorn-like thoughts that are characteristic of the sun in Capricorn. We become very disciplined. Work becomes a real thing. We focus on getting things done in a practical, down-to-earth sort of way. Our status in life becomes something that we become concerned about. Business, all of those sort of mundane, practical things are what are characteristic of Capricorn season. And again, that begins on December 21st when the sun moves into Capricorn. And then finally, we close out the month with Jupiter heading into its home sign of Pisces. Jupiter in Pisces is like love, an overdose of love. Jupiter is all about expansion and growth, right? And so Jupiter in Pisces is really about expanding our awareness of spirituality, compassion, and love, but love on a grander scale. It's not like how you love your parent, how you love your child, how you love your spouse or your significant other. It's how you love humanity. Your love grows and your love expands, right? You start to, Pisces is a very intuitive sign. It's a very sensitive sign and an empathic sign. So whenever there is a planet in Pisces, particularly Jupiter, we feel other people's emotions. We feel sensitive, compassionate, and empathic towards other people in a very big way, which is great because that helps us understand people and just spread love, right? But the thing with Pisces is that it can be a lot and it can be overwhelming. And so in feeling everything on a grand scale, you really may have the tendency to lose yourself. You start taking on other people's emotions, taking on other people's shit, and you get lost in the sauce essentially. And with Pisces, the symbol for Pisces being fish, you're sort of literally lost in the sauce, right? So with Jupiter in Pisces, what's going to be really important is for you to feel everything, right? But also take the time and extra room to feel for yourself. So you're going to have to close off to the world at times, rest, recharge, and get back to yourself, because there's going to be a tendency to lose yourself. There's going to be a tendency to really, like I said, get lost in the sauce. So that is December in a nutshell. If you want to know more about what December has to offer, you can either check out the horoscopes, which are on my website, link in the description box below, or you can get a personal horoscope that is designed specifically for you. Whether it's 1 month, 3 months, or 6 months, you can figure out what December or any other month for that matter is going to look specifically for you. And if you want to order that, that link is in the description box as well. All right, Capricorn. So first and foremost, happy birthday. I hope that this new revolution around the sun brings you everything that your heart truly desires. December is all about you. It's all about your season. So turn up, enjoy life. And again, happy birthday. All right, so for you, December is really about adjustment. I feel like if there was one word to sum up how the energy of December would affect you, it would be adjustment and flexibility. And that's because your cadent houses are the houses that are being highlighted this month. So what are the cadent houses? So the houses in astrology are broken up into different groupings, 3 different groupings to be exact. We have the angular houses, which are also known as the cardinal houses. We have the succedent houses, which are also known as the fixed houses. And then we have the cadent houses, which are also known as the mutable houses. So for you, you guys have your cadent houses lit this month. And the cadent houses are really where things break down and you're being urged to think about taking a new step, go in a new direction. It's all about things shifting before taking action. If we think about everything as a cycle, the angular houses are where you take action. That's where things are born. That's where things are initiated. The succedent houses are where you stabilize that energy. The energy is fixed and you're maintaining. And then the cadent houses are where things start to break down and then you start to think of new ways to act and new directions to go in. So again, Capricorn, this month is all about adjustment. You may feel like the ground under you is not necessarily stable. Things are shifting all over the place, and it's getting you to sort of open your mind and think about going in a new direction or think about taking action at some later time, okay? So when the sun is in Sagittarius, your 12th house of solitude, confinement, and the unknown is lit. Now, this is the house that is typically lit before everyone's solar return. So the season before your solar return is always marked by resting, recharging, and getting ready for your season. And for you, Capricorn, during Sagittarius season, that is exactly what you are doing. So in your 12th house, you have the sun, you have the new moon solar eclipse, you've got Mercury, and towards the end of the month, you're going to have Mars in there as well. So you have 4 planets that are really urging you to sort of rest, power down, and recharge. Now, with the new moon solar eclipse in your 12th house, this is really getting you to change, and it's shifting things on a very subconscious level. Like I said before, the 12th house is the house of the unknown. So this is where a lot of activity may be happening that you're just not aware of. It may be going down on a subconscious level, on a cellular level, on a spiritual level. So during Sagittarius season, and particularly during the new moon solar eclipse, if you find that your sleep patterns are wonky, if you find that you're not sleeping well, or you're sleeping a lot, you may be having a lot of dreams, maybe even some nightmares. That's sort of your subconscious shifting. And like I said before, being that the 12th house is one of the cadent houses, you're going to want to experience that shift and use it to sort of think about, okay, this is what's going on subconsciously. This is what I'm experiencing. What can I do differently knowing that things are shifting? Once the dust settles, what new thing am I going to do, or what new direction am I going to take? Okay, that's pretty much how that 12th house energy is going to play out for you. And again, that's during Sagittarius season. Now, come your season on December 21st, that is when your first house of self is going to be lit. And just like everyone else, when they experience their solar return, your solar return is marked by thinking all about yourself. That's where you focus on yourself, your thoughts, your attitude, your outlook on life, your physical appearance. And of course, being that Capricorn season starts on December 21st, that's when you will focus on you. Now in Capricorn, you're going to have, in your first house, you're going to have the sun, right? You're also going to have Mercury, which is going to transit in there. You also have Venus retrograde plus Pluto. So even this month is full of very personal energy for you because you've got the 12th house and the first house. And again, you've been undergoing a serious internal and possibly external transformation, particularly with Pluto in your first house. And that is all going to be lit up once the sun gets in there. So if you find that come your season, you feel motivated to change your looks, to change your attitude, to change your way of thinking, perhaps how you express yourself, how you communicate with others, that's pretty much how it's going to go down, particularly with the sun giving you that warmth and that energy in your first house. All right. And so you also have your third house being lit this month because we've got Neptune going direct, and we also have Jupiter entering your third house. So this is also going to mark a sort of busy time for you this month. Anytime there's emphasis on your third house, you find yourself busy, communicating a lot, maybe doing a lot of paperwork, maybe going on some short distance trips. And so with Jupiter and Neptune in your third house, you're going to feel very imaginative, very creative. The way that you speak is going to be large and over the top. It's also going to be very intuitive. Perhaps some of your psychic abilities may come online with Neptune going direct. It's also about making plans. In a very big way. And again, things are going to be shifting because the third house is a cadent house, and it's going to things are going to break down a bit so that you can, again, start thinking of new ways and new directions in which to go. All right. And then finally, you have a 6th house emphasis with the full moon in Gemini happening on the 18th. Now, full moons illuminate. Full moons mark the culmination of manifestations that were set, in the past, particularly with this full moon. Think back to June of this past year, any manifestations that you set, particularly related to health, related to work. Those were sort of the intentions you might have set back in June. And so now you may see these things coming to fruition. The full moon also illuminates and sheds light on things that have been in the dark. So like I said, with this being a cadent house, you may see that things at work, Like the full moon may illuminate the things that may not be going right at work. It may highlight inefficiencies. It may even bring to light a health issue that maybe you haven't paid attention to or that hasn't presented itself as of yet. But that is by design, because it is meant to get you to shift and to think differently so that you can make new moves. Okay. So again, the key word for you this month is going to be adjustment. You're going to want to roll with the punches. You're going to want to take what comes with a grain of salt. And most importantly, you're going to want to think. Take the time to sit and think and assess what's going on around you and how you can do things differently in the future. All right. So now that we've gotten the astrology out of the way, let's get into the tarot and see what messages Spirit has for you this month. All right, Capricorn. So you know the deal. As always, we've got 3 messages: 1 general, 1 love, and 1 career. So without further ado, let's get into it. And we'll start with the general message. All right. So what do we have for Capricorn for December 2021? Okay. We've got TikTok. All right. So immediately I get this sense of urgency. I get this sense that you feel like time is running out. You feel like you're on the clock, like you've got to do something in a particular amount of time. So I'm also getting like a bunch of stress. I feel that someone may be stressing you in order to get something done, do something by a particular time, etc. Okay. For some of you, you're getting the gift of time. For a small select few of you, it's like, I feel like there is a health issue that's going to improve, and it's almost like it gives you more time. Time is a gift, and you're being gifted more time via better health. All right. So let me get some more cards on here and see what else we have. Okay. All right. We've got the Tower. So there's some sort of disruption that's going to happen. So let's say that you are on a time crunch, right? Or let's say that you have a particular deadline that you need to meet. I feel like something's just going to cut right through that, and it sort of makes time irrelevant. I feel like you have much more time than you think, if that makes any sense. Like something's going to happen suddenly that's going to make the time not even an issue anymore. Perhaps your deadline gets extended. Perhaps, the project isn't necessarily something that's urgent. Okay. Interesting. So it's this energy of, I'm sorry, if you've watched any of my other videos, whenever I start doing readings, my nose starts to itch like crazy. So if you see me doing all of this, that's why. It's this very interesting energy of feeling like you have time, like time being such an issue, and then all of a sudden, like it's no longer an issue anymore. Let's get one more card here. Okay. Right. Ooh, we have marriage. Interesting. All right. So for some of you, you feel like time is ticking in order for you to get married, to be booed up, to have a relationship, to be partnered up. Could be business, could be personal, take it as it resonates. But it's going to happen a lot sooner than you think. There is this togetherness that's going to happen. And it's also a product of divine timing. It's like the two of you are sort of going to come together in a very sort of random, surprising way. Okay. But again, it's like, how best can I explain this? Okay. So, if you've ever been on a weight loss journey, right? And when you start out on this journey, you feel like, oh my gosh, it's going to take so long for me to lose all this weight or to build muscle or whatever your end goal is. You feel like it's so far away, right? And if you're disciplined and you just keep at it, eventually you meet your goal. And then once you meet your goal, it's like the time that it took you to meet the goal was irrelevant, right? It becomes irrelevant. It doesn't matter how long it took. What matters is that you finally reached your destination. You finally achieved your goal. And that's exactly how things are going to shape up for you, especially when it comes to some sort of partnership, some sort of relationship. For some of you, it's marriage. Some of you may be fixing your marriage, I hear. Others of you may be, getting in a partnership that would lead to marriage. You know the deal. But just know that you're going to reach the destination and time is going to be irrelevant at that point. So even if you feel like you're on a time crunch, even if you feel like the clock is ticking and you need to do X, Y, and Z, just know that you're going to reach your destination and the time is going to be irrelevant at that point. All right, so let's keep it moving and let's get to the love message. Even though that general message was kind of a love message, but all right. What do we have here? Oh, we've got manipulation, okay? So some of you, I'm getting this is like a continuation of this general message. So for some of you, you may feel like you need to do something in order to get to your goal faster. Because you may feel the sense of urgency, because you may feel like you're on a time crunch, I feel like you're looking to manipulate a particular situation so you can get to the end goal much faster. Now, manipulation is never a good thing. You never want to manipulate or guilt trip anybody. So manipulation is never a good thing. You never want to sort of have somebody by the strings or play any type of games. I'm not necessarily getting the feeling that you're doing this. I feel like you think you need to do this because, again, you have this sense of urgency. Things are shifting. Remember I said in the astrology portion that it is your cadent houses that are lit this month, meaning that you're going to need to be flexible and adaptable because things around you are going to be shifting. But that shifting is to get you to think differently so that when the time comes to take action, you take action in a new direction. So for some of you, I get this sense that for a while, this is how you felt. Or this is the mind space in which you've operated, that I'm on a time crunch. I need to do this by X, Y, and Z. I know you guys can be very structured. And so perhaps you've planned out your life and you've been like, oh, I need to get married by this age. I need to have a baby at this age, have a house, have this. You have a timeline for everything. And you feel like you need to pull strings and be a puppet master in order to make it happen. And Spirit is like, no, actually you don't. You really just need to relax and you need to think about the end result. Don't think about what needs to happen in order for that end result to occur. You just need to think about the end result. So you need to shift your focus and shift your thinking. Okay. Let's get some more cards on here. Oh, that's too many. Okay. What else do we have here for relationships and love? All right, there we go. Okay, we've got 10 of Wands. This lets me know that you guys are feeling a lot of pressure. I don't know if it may be other people who are pressuring you. I said before in the general message that someone may be pressuring you to get something done at a particular time. Perhaps it's family. Perhaps it's your partner who may be like, hey, we've been together for X amount of years. It's time to get married. But you're definitely feeling a lot of pressure. And it's almost like when you started this journey with this person or this dating journey, I feel like it felt good. You felt in control. And I get the sense that now you feel like you are somewhat powerless or you have less control than you did before, which is why you feel this sense of urgency and which is why you feel like you need to manipulate either the situation or this person. For some of you, this could be happening to you. So you could be the one that feels like they're being manipulated or being pressured, right? But regardless, there's a good amount of pressure here. And again, this all goes back to the astrology. With the emphasis on your cadent houses, this pressure is what is shifting, is making things shift. It's what's making you think differently, and it's what's making you change, meaning that you have to be adaptable and flexible. All right. So let's get one more card here for this love message. Okay. And we've got bad health. All right. So this is letting me know that if you continue on this trajectory, if you continue on this path of feeling a sense of urgency, manipulating the situation, feeling powerless or out of control, or allowing pressure from outside people or outside forces to dictate how you move, this is what's going to happen. It's either going to fall apart or it's going to be a relationship that's really kind of shitty. Okay. And again, this pressure goes back to what you're feeling and how you need to be adaptable because things need to change. Remember, I said the cadent houses are all about a breakdown of things. I want you to think about it in terms like this. The angular houses, which is houses 1, 4, 7, and 10, those are the houses of action. Think about planting a seed, right? Houses 2, 5, 8, and 11, those are the succeedant houses, the fixed energy. Imagine watering the plant, nurturing it, allowing it to grow. And then houses 3, 6, 9, and 12 are the cadent houses, and that's when the plant starts to wither. And you decide, am I going to plant new crops? Am I going to plant something different or the same thing? I need to till the soil. Like, you start thinking about those things in preparation for the new beginning once again, right? And so I feel like this has been the status quo for a while. And I feel like the astrology is like, all right, I'm gonna need to put some pressure on you so you realize how out of balance this relationship has been, so that you can think about taking it in a new direction, doing things differently, etc. All right. So that's the love message. Now let's get into career and money. All right. So what do we have for Capricorn for career and money for December? We've got the book. So the book signifies things that are hidden, secret things, or learning something. All right. So some of you are going to be in a very sort of academic sort of headspace when it comes to work. Perhaps you're learning new skills. Perhaps you are taking a deeper dive into what you do. Maybe there's a particular sector of what you do that you want to become more knowledgeable about. But I see you doing a lot of research. I see you thinking a lot. I see you uncovering information that can help you with your career for the long term. Okay, let's get some more cards out here. This is for career and money. Right? We've got the Knight of Swords. Okay, so this is about communication and thoughts. So I see you guys definitely doing a lot of research. I see you thinking about things that's going to be able to help your career take off. You're like, what else do I need to learn? What else do I need to know in my career in order to either make more money, get promoted, open my own business? So you guys are doing a lot of research, and actually you're talking to a lot of people also. I see you being very communicative with people, like you're really taking this seriously, particularly now that you're experiencing your solar return and it's like your personal new year. I feel like you want to up the ante when it comes to your career and your money. And so you are doing all the research that you need to, talking to whoever you need to in order to level up, right? Now, let's get one last card here to close out this reading. What else we have for career and money for Capricorn for December 2021? We've got message of concern. Okay, so there may be a situation where you get some kind of communication from someone that sort of sparks you to start thinking about things differently. And again, this ties all back into the astrology. What did I say about the cadent houses? The cadent houses is where you need to be adaptable because things are going to shift in order to get you to think differently. And that's exactly what's happening with your career. So for some of you, you may experience this message of concern, maybe something regarding the stability of your job. Maybe you're being demoted. Maybe you're being laid off. But the stability with respect to your job is changing, and it's getting you to think, particularly outside of the box, with respect to what you can do differently to maintain and to have stability when it comes to your career and your money. So if you're experiencing a downturn or a sort of downward spiral with respect to your career, don't internalize it and don't think that it's permanent, because this is just getting you to act differently. This is just getting you to move in a different direction. So take the time, particularly while the sun is still in Sagittarius and you have that sort of quiet winding down energy, to really think about how you've been handling your career and your relationship in the recent past. So to sum everything up, again, this month is about being adaptable and flexible. You're going to want to really assess how you show up in relationships, because if you feel like you're on a time crunch, if you're experiencing a lot of external pressure, you're going to want to change that, because you don't want to manipulate the situation. Don't think about how things are going to work. Just think about things working, and then everything else will sort itself out. With career, it may be time to go in a new direction. And I feel like whatever happens this month is going to get you to do that. So don't be afraid. Don't feel like everything is going to shit and that things aren't going to work out in the future. They are. You just may need to take a different approach, use your brain and think of something new, or just go in a different direction. But otherwise, you'll be good, okay? Change and adaptability, the only thing constant is change. And being flexible and rolling with the punches is sort of how we've been able to survive, right? Because when things change, we adapt. We become innovative. And that's exactly what you're going to need to do this month. All right, my loves, that has been the Astro Forecast and Tarot Scope for the month of December 2021. I sincerely hope and affirm that you were able to get at least one important message from this reading. Speaking of readings, if you'd like to book a personal tarot reading with me or order a personalized astrology report, those links are in the description box below, so don't forget to check those out. And while you're checking things out, don't forget to hit up my website, sign up for my newsletter. I give a whole bunch of free content on a regular basis, so sign up everywhere you can so you never miss out. All right, thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe, and I'll see you next time.